You returned to the Hejung villa, and Bhumi came, asking curiously that Jenny was searching for you. After a while, Jenny came, and you both snorted things over, and she apologized, going against you. But the matter was settled. You felt bitter. She explained how she tell the story. Are you stupid? No matter how you make up the story, the result will not change. Jenny's face pale. Do you think others are fools? He is such a smart person. I don't think he need to guess that. Others would not believe about it, then let alone Jungan. He is not simple person. He do the business and he have that kind of mind. Now Jenny really regret. Now she understand why you didn't want his help. He is simply scheming against Jungkook. As old master, he is definitely not gentleman as he looked. He will find out the truth no matter what. Jenny really misjudged that person, but you really can't be angry with her. She did this for the sake of you, so you let it go. Uncle Sai sent her back after discussing the matter. Soon results will be in your hands. You keep looking outside the scenery. In the future, you would not see Junghan anymore. You know that Junghan would look after you, but you didn't expect to be so soon. 3 or 4 days, Jungkook felt that you were so cold. He didn't know what had happened, but he felt even you are in his arms, you are not there. Definitely how powerful that man was. In the next day, he just collect result like that. Jenny called you saying that Junghan had arranged to meet you both at evening. You couldn't refuse that. You didn't go to find her during day and wait for evening. You get ready to go out but saw Jungkook coming early from the company. He saw you dress up and asked if you wanted to go out. You nodded. He always comes around 9 or 10 at night, but he had come early today, so you were stunned for a moment. Why did you get off work so early today? You pursed your lips. I want to go to the banquet. Minho walked and passed a box to you. This is. You looked at the box in confusion. What is it? You had no choice but opened the box and saw a dress. Put it on. Come with me to the banquet. You paused, but I have something to do. I have an appointment with Jenny. He frowned. You have been with her for a long time. Can't you accompany me to the banquet? Can you change the time with her? It was important, but why did he ask you to attend the banquet at this time? You directly rejected his words, but I have already made an appointment. But it didn't seem to be good, so you could only say it in a roundabout way. Why don't you go first? I will go after meeting Jenny later. Is it that important? He had been silent for a moment. What? You are confused? I'm asking, is Jenny more important than me? You stood, not expecting him to ask like that. He made you feel guilty, as if his eyes seemed to be able to see through your heart. Could it be that he already knew something? Your lips trembled. No, it's just that I already made an appointment with her. Can't you accompany me once? His forehead was almost twisted into a knot and tone was extremely oppressive. It sounded very uncomfortable. You thought of the matter that you were going to solve and hardened your heart. I really can't. Let's go another day. The next time, if you have a banquet, I will definitely accompany you. Hearing, he couldn't help but raised his lips in ridicule. Next time, he stared at you for a while. Go. Did he just agree like that? For some reason, you felt that was too simple, but looking at the time, you and Jenny agreed time was almost up. You should figure out truth first. If there was still time, you will go to the banquet to look for Jungkook. Then, I will go first. You walked past, but you were stopped by him again. You looked down and saw your wrist was grabbed by him. You have to go. His fingers were long and joints were clear. His hot palm was like a hot iron that burned you. You know it. Yes, when I come back later, if I still have time, I will go and find you. You felt his grip on your wrist tightened, then quickly relaxed. You got freedom. You wanted to see his expression, but he quickly turned around and left. You looked at him confusingly and looked at Minho. What happened to him? Minho was a little depressed. He wanted to say but couldn't. Nothing. Really? Young madam, young master wants you to come with him to tonight's banquet. You apologized because you already made appointment and you have to go. You asked Minho the address of banquet and asked the time. It starts at 8 o'clock. You looked at the time and assured him that you will make it on time. After taking walks, you left. When you left the Haejung villa, Jungkook is standing nearby window, coldly watching you leave. Uncle Sai sent you to the address that you and Jenny going to meet. It took half an hour to go the place. It was already 6 o'clock, but you couldn't urge Uncle Sai to drive fast. Safety is the most important thing on the road. You don't feel good. Your heart was uneasy today. Your phone vibrated. Minho sent you address. Young madam, if you can, you should come back now. If you can't, I hope young madam can make it to the time tonight because tonight is an important day. Important day? You send message asking about, but Jenny called you urging to come fast. You tell her to wait for 10 more minutes. After that, you find Minho didn't reply back. Perhaps he's busy. After arriving, Uncle Sai wanted to wait for you because he knew the path of banquet, but you didn't want him to wait for long. You don't know how much time it will take, so you persuaded him to leave first. You will go there by yourself. After entering in the cafe, you spotted Jenny. She was kept staring at phone and seemed to be bored waiting. You walked to her. She was alone there. When she saw you, she immediately waved her hands, shouting, "Why, I'm here." You walked and sat down. "Where is Jungan? He's not arrived." She ordered coffee and wait, checking time. It was already 6:40. There is still time left. This time should be enough to go there, right? Seeing your appearance, she could guess, are you in a hurry and you have other things to do? You told her, "You didn't tell me before. If I knew, I would let you go first and handle this matter myself." She can't affect the relationship between husband and wife, but since you already come, it's useless to say it now. You already told him that you will rush there if you get time. She was little relaxed and wait for 15 minutes. Your anxiety keep rising. Your all affection was on Jungkook. You actually didn't care about this matter that much. The words that Jungkook said before left a deep impression on you. After 10 minutes, Jungan arrived, dressing neatly. Many girls there drool over him. He's looking so handsome as usual. Even he entered, girls started to whisper. He grabbed many girls' attention. "Who is this man? He's so handsome. Don't look at him. He looks like he has a girlfriend. He won't be ours." They assume that one of you and Jenny is his girlfriend. You are already annoyed by the gossip. Junghan must be heard also. He quickly sat opposite you both. "Sorry, there was a traffic jam on the road, so I came late." You both acted calm. Jenny waved her hands, "It's okay," and smiled. Girls around guessed that Jenny is his girlfriend. "Look, that girl who waved at the boy. I told you she was his girlfriend." "Are you an idiot?" The man was clearly looking at the other girl. With that lovingly gaze, the girl who waved her hand should be friend. Table was silent, so you took initiative to ask about result. He looked at you gently and said that they should eat first, making you anxious more. Jenny also felt he came to help and didn't own anything, so you have to be a little patient. He had rushed over in a hurry. Definitely, he hadn't eaten yet. You and Jenny accompany him to eat. He purposely put piece of meat in front of you. Probably he had heard others' conversation. You felt that he wanted others to misunderstand your both's relationship, but you didn't eat what he gave. He didn't felt awkward, and people who admiring was being excited. After meal, you asked about the investigation. He raised his hand to look at the time. He was never anxious like this before. He could roughly guess the reason. He smiled and softly said, "Don't be anxious. Although the investigation results are out, before I came, I asked my secretary to tidy up for me, so you might have to wait for a while. Do you still have something to do tonight?" Your both's expression changed. It's already 7:20. You couldn't talk. Jenny told him that you have something to do and you live far away from there, so you have to go early, but he told that he will send you both. Jenny asked if you want to go early. He roughly understood, then guess with your hint that you have to attend banquet. He also have, so he said he will drive you together. While waiting, you went to change your clothes in the bathroom and to light makeup, tidying your long hair to messy bun. He was admiring you. You looked pretty with the dress, seemed to choose carefully, and it suits you perfectly with that baby bump, looked more stunning. Therefore, he couldn't take his eyes off for a long time. After another 10 minutes, his secretary came. Jenny became excited but worried for you. It was only half an hour before banquet start and you didn't want to go with Junghan. Jungkook had already misunderstood you and Junghan. If you went to the banquet with him and seen by others, you can't think what Jungkook would do. You became more depressed. He was surprised but felt instantly guilty. He should have rushed earlier, but still he think of you and tell that he will not let Jungkook to misunderstood again. He loves you, but he is definitely not selfish. He chose to let go. Jenny felt emotional. He did this because you are his family members, but hearing this Junghan didn't felt happy. At the end, he handed you documents that contain result. You are in rush, so you didn't read document. After paying bills, you all came out and Jenny excused herself. You hesitated, knowing that she won't be coming with you because she was not invited there. Don't worry, in any case, just remember what I said. Don't be impulsive in everything. No matter what the result is, don't decide with own, go carefully. Jenny is especially good. She cared a lot and you misunderstood her. You felt you were stupid for some reason. Your throat became sore. You suddenly thought of Yuri. Perhaps before the two of you fell in love with the same man, the friendship between two really existed, but you both started to compete and be no longer friends. In the future, we won't turn against each other, will we? Jenny warned you it will never happen. She won't fall for same man knowing that he is related to you. She would rather stay away and she immediately tell you stop being dramatic and pushed you to sat on the car. Jonghan will drove you to the destination. It's already going to be late. Banquet will be start soon. Junghan asked Jenny for a ride on the way, but she politely refused. Actually, you could feel that she deliberately avoiding Jungkook and Junghan. She was probably afraid that something like that would happen. Junghan can see Jenny is good friend and actually cared a lot. No wonder she was willing to do so much for you. You sat in the back of car while Junghan drive. He didn't mind because for a reason your love for Jungkook is way more than his love for you, and the fact that you are Jungkook's wife. He had already calculated the time and drove along the way, finding to talk topics about you and Jenny's friendship. He told you to look at the document while sitting in the back, but you didn't have the intention to open the documents now. He also noticed, or not, you going to open it and take a look? You were stunned. Your thoughts was running to be with Jungkook as soon as possible. You faintly smiled. No hurry. He nodded. There was a slight chill in his eyes. I thought you were in a hurry when he saw you eating. So that's not what you care about. How could you not care? You tightly grabbed the documents. You are very concerned about this document, but Jungkook's case when you leaving made you take it to heart until now. You felt that things are in front of you and you have to choose them. You knew what was most important for you. Yuri was pregnant or not, but you already chosen the former in your heart. Jenny had always said that you are not brave if you are willing to believe his words wholeheartedly. Such a thing would not happen. If you wanted to trust him now, was it not too late? Your nose felt sore as if you were about to cry and quickly messaged Jenny. She said that follow your heart. If you want to believe him, then do it. Nothing is late yet. You can have your happy life. Do your best. Your tears slipped. You thought of now. You will destroy this document. You don't have to look at it. You put it aside. Jungan see you from the rearview mirror and was little disappointed. He smiled bitterly. It looks like you really like him. You raised your head and said with confidence, yes, it is indeed so. There is nothing hard to admit. His heart was bitter. You like Jungkook so much. Why he is hoping for what? From little afar, you can see the location of banquet, but it will take few minutes to go there. You tell him to speed up a little. The banquet hall was very lively. Many employees came. It will started within 10 minutes. He was sitting in the second floor, expressionlessly, looking coldly at the door downstairs. The woman had not appeared yet, and she had not called. How cruel. Minho felt his expression subside. He couldn't help but said that he will come there soon. He have already sent you address. Hearing his lips curled slightly to sneer. What does it have to do with me, whether she comes or not? Didn't young master expect her to come? He raised his eyebrow. Which eyes of yours saw me looking forward for her arrival? Initially, Minho wanted to say that he saw with his both eyes, but how rude it would be, so he changed his words. Minho might be changed his profession to look through people's heart, but he was so sure that Jungkook was waiting for young madam, but he still refused to admit it. He really don't understand why these two people make people awkward. Minho's eyes became worried. Young madam, you must come. If you didn't come, I am afraid. He didn't dare to think about it anymore. After all, Jungkook wanted to invite you to the banquet. On such an important day, he wanted to introduce you to everyone and let everyone know that you are his wife. Before you leave, he asked, but you refused. Jungkook kept looking at the entrance. Women, you better come over at the start of the banquet, otherwise I won't forgive you. He muttered in his heart, then coldly snorted before turning away. Minutes left, seconds, it's only 7 minutes left until 8 o'clock, but you're still on the road. Elder brother, are we almost there? He nodded. Yes, we will be there after we cross the bridge. Gonna take just 5 minutes. That was great. You smiled. The bridge was right in front. You would be able to see him soon. You didn't go back on your words. You could make it to the banquet on time. Junghan saw that he was anxious, so he speeded up a little, but no one expected that suddenly it will be happened. Just as he's speeding, some car overtake you didn't felt right and looked at the small truck already coming close in front. You widened your eyes and saw truck crashed in front of other car. Junghan immediately realized and turned the steering to other side while panicking, but he couldn't make it. He turned his head and shouted behind him, Wyan, quickly get down. Fireworks explode, signaling that banquet has started and guests already entered the venue. But Jungkook didn't see a familiar figure at the door. Minho looked at the time. It has just started. Don't worry, young master. Young madam should be at the entrance. Jungkook frowned. Did you give her an invitation card? Minho was stunned and shook his head. I don't think so. Then how will she get in? Minho realized and quickly went downstairs to pick you up. At the entrance, security checking the guest's invitation card. Sure enough, if young madam came without the invitation, you definitely wouldn't be able to enter. Many people knew Minho, so they greeted him. Assistant Lee, you came down to help? Minho smiled. Yes, I came down to pick someone up. If Assistant Lee came to pick up the person personally, that must be someone important. They asked, but Minho revealed anything. Because today is the special day for that person, young master personally want to introduce, so how could he tell just yet? Minho kept looking at the crowd but didn't see. He waited for almost 20 minutes. He didn't know if young madam would come or not. He's extremely anxious. He called you, but the phone said it was temporarily not in the service area. He tried to call it again and again. His expression changed. What was going on? Could young madam really not coming tonight? He was really anxious to death, thinking Jungkook's poker face that almost froze people to death. Minho felt incomparable despair in his life. If young madam didn't come, then young master's emotions today would still be in the future or will be over. How about he personally go to find you? Even you don't want to, he have to find young madam. He walked out but stopped by someone. He was annoyed. He couldn't help phoning. What's wrong? There was an accident on the bridge. The driver of a small truck's brake was failed and broke the guardrail of the bridge. The police have taken control of the scene. If that was the case, young madam might be stuck on the other side, he thought, and returned to Jungkook's side and wanted to tell about the matter, but heard cold voice. Is she not coming? Young master, there was an accident. If she's not coming, then let her be. He turned to left the second floor. Minho was stunned for a while before chasing after Jungkook. Young master, perhaps young madam is still on her way here. Before leaving the villa, she told me that she would definitely come. Young madam doesn't seem like the kind of person who would go back on her word. Is that so? Then where is she now? Why have not I seen her yet? Minho couldn't say. He understand Jungkook's feeling. After all, he had given you a choice after knowing what had happened. But in the end, young madam had chosen another path. Banquet had started half an hour ago. Young madam still didn't appear. It was no wonder young master was angry. Minho had no choice but to follow Jungkook. If young madam came later, he will go and pick up. The guardrail of the side bridge was destroyed. The truck hit a few cars along the way. There were a few injured people. They are all investigating. Jungan was rescued. He was already in a semi-conscious state. Many parts of his body was injured by broken glass and his head was bleeding. After rescue, he was placed flat on the ground. He grabbed the man's hand, save her. The man was stunned. You mean there's someone else in the back seat? Yes, he nodded. Man immediately called the rescue team and went to search at the car. The truck which hit the cars was fell into the lake and police had contacted the sailors to go down and save the people in the car but don't know whether people are alive or dead. Rescue team finds you. You are not that serious injured, but the impact was too intense that hit your back of head and fainted. Body was injured by some broken pieces of glass, but not serious. When you were carried out and placed beside Jungan, your face was pale. Even he was in serious condition, he anxiously tried to get up and check on your condition. One of the rescue men said that you're safe. There is no serious injury. He don't need to worry. Junghan didn't believe he's injured and he's still in his sense, but you are not serious and unconscious. The man also don't know why you were unconscious. Why? Junghan endured the pain and called your name, but you didn't move. Your quiet look was as if you are not breathing at all. His heart was anxious and he could only ask for help. Sorry, can you call ambulance for me? Man informed that ambulance was already on the way. He felt relieved. He can't let anything happen to you. If something happened to you, then he will feel guilty for the rest of his life. Many peoples are watching and police are controlling the area. Ambulance arrived and many injured people are bringing to the hospital. Junghan kept asking doctor if anything happened to you. Doctor gave Junghan emergency treatment. Your injury was minor. It's just impact that made you lost your consciousness. After hearing that you are not in danger, Junghan couldn't hold back the pain and passed out. Doctor gave him urgent treatment. His willpower to hold back the pain just for this woman is too great. After knowing that woman is safe, he felt relaxed his body. Doctors assumed that both are most be couple. Junghan was sent to the critical area and due to normal. When the doctor checked up and caught some information, their expression immediately changed, knowing you are pregnant. It might be not outside injury, but they quickly asked nurse to transfer you to critical area. She's pregnant and was unconscious for long. There must be inner problem. We need to check her up immediately. She's still not here. Even though he had said such a harsh words to Minho, he hoped you would show up at the gate in the corner or in front of him. He hoped you would tell him that you are here or came to running for him, but he waited for a long time. No matter where you are now here to be seen. Minho was shocked hearing in those 3 hours Jungkook keep asking and saying harsh words to ease himself, but Minho clearly see the disappointment and frustration. Minho informed that he has sent people. As long as young madam arrive, they will inform him. What time is it now? He coldly asked. Minho looked at the time and stuttered and almost whispered back, it's almost 11 o'clock. Jungkook sneered, she's really powerful. Minho wanted to explain it for you, but got scolded. That he forget what he have to say. Anyway, it was not young master's first time making such a fuss. When young madam will arrive in front of him, he will be fine. Therefore, Minho didn't need to worry about this. Young madam just need to act spoiled to make up the words for young master and problem would be easily solved. But it's just that he didn't expect that this matter would be completely different from before. You suddenly groaned and slowly woke up. Doctor asked if there's any discomfort. It was just that your head felt heavy and painful. At first, you were confused, looking around, but soon realized after doctor inquiry all your condition, they felt relieved and treat your small wounds. You remember what had happened? there was another person in the car that time. What happened to the Junghan? Nurse informed that Junghan was in the critical area, so you was about to get up and see him. After all, you and him was together at that car, but nurse stopped and persuaded you to rest for a while. You were still in that dress, but your hair was messy and you were in your sorry state. Doctor examined you and saw you were becoming anxious. She understands and observed before asking nurse to take her to take a look. You asked about your bag and things. That was probably in the police station, so you are relieved. Then nurse helped you to go see Jung Han. You saw he is lying in the bed. It was shockingly that he was much injured. If he didn't tell you to lie down in that time, you didn't know what kind of injuries you would have suffered. Your heart was palpitating and breathing was rapid and it quickened. Nurse block your view not to look at the blood since you are pregnant and it can affect you and your child. Nurse tell you that he had endured much pain, so doctor give him some medicine to ease pain. What did you do? You suddenly regretted it. If you didn't show your anxiety, he might not have driven the car so fast. There was not enough time and you wanted to rush to Jungkook and have distracted Junghan. It's your fault. He's fine, don't worry. Nurse probably felt your sadness and comforted you gently. You sniffed and whispered, "Can I wait here for him to wake up?" Nurse nodded and let you sat down in the chair outside the ward that Junghan was. Your mind was full of images, that truck crashing over. In that instant, Jungkook's face flashed in front of your eyes. Jungkook, did you think that when someone was about to die and that person would saw the most important things in their life? Unfortunately, you had missed the banquet. You lowered your eyes and silently closed them. Jungkook probably hated you to death. You had clearly promised him, but you didn't appear. Half an hour later, after waiting for a long time, the nurse suddenly ran out. "Excuse me, your husband is awake. He said he wants to see you." You suddenly looked up and immediately stood up before following nurse. You didn't care about the words she used at this time. All you heard was the person in was awake and wants to see you. You walked in front of him. "Elder brother?" He was stunned, hearing you call him like that. "It's good that you're fine." He was badly injured but smiled when he saw you. In an instant, the guilt in your heart intensified. He called you near as his gaze landed near your lips cut. He wanted to raise his hand and touch as his heart ached, but his arms hurt. "Sorry, I didn't protect you." You shook your head. "No, you have already protected me very well. I have implicated you. If you didn't take me in the car, today's incident wouldn't have happened." No, all of this was written to be good. Elder brother did everything he wanted to do, so he couldn't blame anyone else, but you are different, you still have a chance. You are stunned and look at him, not knowing what he meant. His face was pale. "Why, the banquet is not over yet. You still have time. I will pack up and send you over." After saying, he actually got off the bed, making you scared that your soul almost flew away. You quickly stopped him. "No, elder brother, your injuries are very serious. You can't move anymore." Nurse also came to stop and sat him to rest for 2 days. But Junghan stubbornly stood up, wiping blood from the corner of his mouth. You cried to stop him. If he sent you now and something happened to him, you might feel guilty for the rest of your life. You are not heartless. Seeing you crying, he couldn't help but smile. "Fool, don't you like him a lot? I'm helping you." You shook your head. "I don't need you to do this. You just need to lie in the hospital and recuperate." "Didn't I said it's minor and I'm fine? If you don't want me to send you, then you leave. If not, you might really be delayed." You had suspect him that his motives are impure, but you realize you are the hateful person. He treated you so well, but you think of him bad. He insisted to send you. Nurse also get emotional. It was fine if two are not lovers, but this man was obviously helping this woman with the other man. It was truly touching. How much courage did it take to send the woman he loved to another man? He smiled faintly. I was just joking with you. Are you going to look for a nurse? I was just thinking about it earlier, so I made a joke with you. I won't, I'm sorry. You lifted your head to look at him and saw apology in his eyes and making you lower your eyes in embarrassment. The person who should be apologizing is me. You saved me and did so much for me, but you are not even willing to feed him a cup of water. But yes, you really can't do it. He didn't make things difficult for you. Instead, he sat up and reached for the cup on the table. You quickly walked over, noticing, then took the initiative to pick up the cup before handing him again. He accidentally touched your hand, making you frightened and immediately pulled back, but he had already grabbed the cup. He was not happy but drank the water to moisten his throat. I won't do anything to you. You don't have to be so afraid of me. It was fine if he didn't say it, but he did, making you more embarrassed. You didn't respond and stood there. After he drank the water, you reached out to take the cup. Go back and rest. Your hand froze. I'm sorry. He didn't let you take. With apologize, you returned to own bed. When you turned to look at him, do you still want to go back to him? You didn't speak for a while. Have I ever left? I still have a lot of things to say to him. I have to ask him what's going on. What happens after you ask him? I saw that divorce contract. You clenched your fists. He already wants to divorce you. If you go to him again, won't you throw your dignity under his feet and let him trample on you? You sighed. He won't do this for no reason. There must be a reason behind this. Elder brother, you saved me. Have a good rest today. I won't run around. I will go look for him. After we discharged from the hospital, you turned your back, covering yourself with blanket. He didn't speak as well and looked at your figure. His heart was bitter, or don't know what kind of feeling he have right now, but it was definitely not good. He didn't know how long this feeling would last. He looked at the woman he loved in front of him, but she likes another man, and he wanted to send her to the man she liked. That was one thing, and that man didn't cherish her. This made him very angry. If possible, he really wanted to take you away and leave this place in the corner of any world, as long as he didn't let you see that man again. But in the end, he couldn't ignore your feelings. You cried in front of him for Jungkook, giving him a painful expression. He would feel he was a person full of guilt. Since that was the case, then helping you to obtain everything you wanted, seeing your happiness, then he should be able to be sacrificed. Even if he keeps you, he won't be able to have a happy life with you. Then be wiser and sacrifice. Don't cry. If you continue to cry, there will be no time. Let's go. After sending you, I will come back to the hospital to recuperate. How is it? You shook your head. He was helpless and grabbed your wrist, pulling you out. You tried to stop, but he is still strong. You couldn't beat him at all because he was already injured, so you didn't dare to touch him and only let him pull you out. His current walk was not steady. He was obviously forcing himself to maintain. You have to stop him. His body couldn't take it at all. Even if he could hold it, it was only his will. You angrily called him. Elder brother, stop. I have something to tell you. Elder brother, Jungan. His breathing was unsteady and turned to look at you. You tried to convince him. Listen to me. I know you are doing this for my own good. I can take the car myself, go back to the ward and rest, or maybe I won't go. Is that okay? It doesn't matter if I don't go to banquet. Jungkook and I are husband and wife. I will explain this to him later. Elder brother, I'm not going. I will accompany you back to the ward. Let's go. You pulled him, but he stood there without moving. You couldn't help but cry. Junghan, I really don't need you to do so much for me. Can you not do this? Come back with me and lie down on the bed to recover. If you fall down again, I will feel guilty for the rest of my life. He smiled bitterly, staring at you deeply. He was not doing this to make you feel guilty. He just hoped that you can be happy before banquet, and if you didn't go, he can't guarantee if Jungkook is willing to listen to you. He knows how much egoistic is his little stepbrother is. If you waste your time here, then he is afraid that everything will be messed up. He coughed a few times that seemed like almost losing his balance. You were scared. At the end, he asked to send you to the door. You finally agreed. Seeing his effort, there was no other way, and you could not really persuade him. Instead of continuing to talk to him in the cold wind, it was better to let him go with you. He take taxi. Since you may lost the way of banquet, he have to send you. Taxi driver said that the bridge was couldn't take since it's still on the control of police and the way other was little far. So safety is the priority. You are very nervous. It's already midnight. Your heart was in chaos. Junghan put his head on your shoulder. Are you really okay? You didn't protest. He forced a smile. I would send you to him. He gave driver the address. You are really late. Would Jungkook still wait for you? No one knew what would happen until you arrived at the banquet. You still had unlimited hope. When it's time, go down yourself. I won't accompany you in. Let not Jungkook misunderstand something. You couldn't say anything and nodded. He gave you a faint smile. When taxi arrived at the banquet, there were still many people. After that, as Junghan said, you get down. He reached out to touch your head. You thought of something and didn't move, but he stopped his action, but then gently rubbed your head before telling you to go fast. He will wait you in the hospital. He fixed your hair a little, although your dress and hair was little ruined, but you're still looking perfect. When you ran along the banquet entrance, you couldn't turn back anymore. No matter what, you would have to find Jungkook first. You are determined and you had made your decision. People, when they saw you running, their attention went to you immediately. Banquet had already come to an end. He had never stayed in the banquet for more than an hour before. His face was gloomy and looked very cold that no one dared to provoke him because he was like a cold-faced king of hell. His aura was terrifying strong. Minho was also afraid and tried to stay away from him. He don't want to get himself into trouble. The longer time passed, the more worried Minho became. Then he wondered what was going on with young madam. She said that she would definitely come to the banquet and take a dress and address. But why was she now here to be seen? What was even stranger was that he couldn't reach out via phone. He suddenly had an ominous feeling. Could something have happened to young madam? Otherwise, this kind of thing shouldn't have happened. He clearly saw that young madam likes young master. Even if she went to see Junghan tonight, Minho's expression changed. He thought of something. It's not hard to find out. Where did you go? He have a professional investigator though. You look embarrassed. You came here after battling for life and death, but then security guard stopped you and you were stunned because you don't have invitation card. Jungkook only give you a set of clothes and you didn't think too much that time. It was normal that Jungkook didn't give you an invitation. If you entered the venue with him, it doesn't need you at all. Now you need it, but you don't have. Today's banquet was very important and only for high class family. Therefore, securities didn't take any risk and invitation card was needed. You make a excuse that you got into accident and your things are left in a police station, so they looked at each other disbelief. But the way you dressed up was not look like any harmful person. One of God sympathized you, but other didn't let this happen because if they take any risk, then they will be the one blamed. If you can't enter, does that mean you can't find Jungkook? You are anxious? I understand. Then I won't go in. Can I trouble you to help me find Jungkook? Hearing you calling Jungkook by a name, their face changed. How can you call young master John by his name? Who are you? Your neck shrunk in fright, so you changed your words. Then I won't look for Jungkook. Can you help me find Lee Min-ho? Now they really need explain. You only didn't call young master by name, but also no assistant Lee. Your words are sincere. That didn't make others doubt. So one of them agreed and went to look after Minho. You are wearing a dress and weather was cold. You had many things to say to Jungkook, but you couldn't resist the cold of the night wind. You hugged your arms. One of the girls asked you to stand with her in the side, but other one refused. Because no one knows if people there is good or not, and your appearance made people think if you came to banquet or just for hookup with some rich CEO. And moreover, there were so many women came to look for young Master John. Some even thought that your wounds are maybe fake, but some thoughts you are innocent. You just look them talk randomly. The girl who called you felt embarrassed and apologized. You didn't care. The situation was urgent. As long as the man find Minho, you will soon be with Jungkook, so you naturally ignored many people. One of girl even suggested you to leave before Minho came. If you are faking then, you will be more embarrassed later. You maintain that posture, thinking maybe you arrived late or maybe Minho not willing to come. It has been 15 minutes. Would you able to find Jungkook tonight? Your heart instantly turned cold. Before you walked away, the man who went to look for Minho, he came informing that he didn't find Assistant Lee. So sadly, you were about to leave, but was blocked by some colleagues. They wanted to teach you a lesson for faking and wanting to meet young master for trouble, but someone came towards you. The people who blocked your way naturally give space to that person. You widened your eyes in disbelief. People looked strangely. Why his appearance was like that? What had happened to Deputy Director John? You panic, walking towards him. Why are you here? Didn't I tell you to go back to the hospital to treat your injuries? Why are you? You are really angry and anxious. You clearly told him to go back to the hospital, but he is standing in front of you. Even you had stayed here for so long and he is still here. He saw you becoming more anxious, so he barely curved his lips to smile, saying softly, I remember that you didn't have an invitation card, so I made the driver turn back. How can there be no end to what you do? We agreed to send you to him. Let me watch you go in. You? He pulled you towards entrance. People are wondering, and some are guilt, thinking in a bad way, and some are envious. How could they really know each other? We had an accident on our way here. We can't find the invitation card now. But for my sake, can you let her in? You stood looking at him worriedly. Young master, you must be joking. You have already spoken. How can we not let her in? Miss, I am really sorry. We didn't know your identity. If we had known, we won't be delaying. Please come in this way.